What is going on, everyone, and welcome to r/AskReddit, the subreddit where Redditors answer the most interesting questions on the internet. Today, I'm looking at the best answers to the question, what was the dumbest rule your school enforced? In grade 8, we were banned from standing in circles at recess because of potential scandalous activity going on in the middle. We stood in squares instead. We couldn't wear winter clothing, jackets, hats, gloves in class because they were gang symbols. This was a small farm town in Wisconsin. Besides obviously having no gangs, it was freaking cold, even indoors in the winter. But clearly wearing warm clothing is something only gangs do. I'm a cheerleader, and for School Spirit Week, I wore the uniform they gave me. I got dress coded. Oh, that is the ultimate high school moment, when your own school realizes that the cheerleader outfits they provide their cheerleaders are too much. Wow. They banned wristwatches. No one knows what the reason was. Oh, well, you see, it's a gateway clock. Before you know it, people will start bringing in pocket watches, then wall clocks, then grandfather clocks, and before you know it, some kid walks in with Big Ben. Then what do? Our school banned hugging because it was erotic. As you can imagine, the boys at school started giving each other very sensual high fives for the rest of the year. How can a hug ever be erotic? Seriously. Can't wear too many matching shirts because, again, you could be a gang. This was in regards to a kid with cancer wanting to make a bunch of shirts. My high school was in Butt F, Nebraska. Yeah, that one just seems extremely messed up. Why? They banned the word snap since everyone used it instead of the S word. So instead, we all just started saying the S word. The snap ban lasted about 3 days. Then they were like, yeah, this is probably a bad idea. Let's reverse that. Middle school had banned salt and pepper from being used in the cafeteria. They claimed it was too unhealthy. They still, though, sold Mountain Dew in the vending machines. A school I used to teach at had similar rules. Some BS about federal nutrition standards or something. We'd just keep them in the teacher's lounge along with hot sauces and chamoy and a few other condiments and leave them on our desks. What? If teachers are doing that, surely students can bring in their own sauce as well. That's unfair. In 6th grade, they switched out all student chairs for large rubber stability balls. There was a strict no bouncing rule. It was a disaster. How would you ever expect that to work? If there's a bouncy ball that I can sit on, I'm gonna bounce on it. I mean, come on. No backpacks to class, but purses were allowed? Girls started carrying around purses big enough to be considered a backpack. Guys got annoyed and started carrying purses too. Sorry, how can you not take a backpack to class? Like, where are you meant to keep all your books and stuff? Jesus, that's a weird one. In my freshman year of high school, we had a terrible vandalism problem. The bathrooms would be broken in various ways, almost constantly. So, in a stroke of pure genius, the staff decided that any bathroom that was vandalized would be closed for the week on first offense, the quarter for second, and permanently on the third offense. They took back the rule after closing every bathroom on day 1. That would be a serious problem. And someone below has commented, holy heck, recently at my school, someone stole a freaking urinal. I've no clue how someone managed to do that. Jesus, how is it even possible to rip a urinal off the wall? I mean, fair play to that guy. Shoes are to be worn as the manufacturer intended was a rule at my school. I have no clue who was wearing their shoes incorrectly or how, but this line, verbatim, was repeated to us over the morning announcements when there were perceived infractions at various points throughout the year. I don't understand how that's possible. I mean, maybe if you just wear your shoes backwards or something, how would that even work? They decided everything bad happened in the last 5 minutes of lunch, so we got 5 minutes shorter each year. Any group more than 5 had to be up to no good, so no groups over 5. Those 2 rules are so dumb. I mean, the first one, if you shorten lunch by 5 minutes, you're still going to get 5 minutes at the end. It doesn't matter how long it is. I don't understand that. And the second one, no groups over 5 in a school. Yep, that doesn't seem very reasonable to me. You couldn't wear any kind of head items that were gang colours, red or blue. This included hairbands, scrunchies, beads in your hair, ribbons, anything. I got in trouble for wearing a blue hairband with white polka dots. What is it with gang culture in schools and teachers just not understanding that a colour does not represent a gang? Seriously, what is going on here? I mean, what, don't joke about the polka dot cartel? What is going on? If you were involved in a fight, you got suspended. Now, while this sounds reasonable, context didn't matter. I got suspended once for not throwing a single punch, kick, whatever. I got suspended because someone knocked the books out of my hand. and when I reached down to grab them, they punched me in the face. So I literally got suspended for walking down the hallway and unprovoked getting punched in the face. F my middle school. And this guy has just put it there. We're gonna have to blur that or censor that, but yeah, clearly he is not a fan of his old school. Jesus, I'm not really that surprised. I love telling this one. We had percentage grades, and if you earned 100% in a class for the semester, you'd be dinged down to 99%, okay, because only God is perfect. As far as I know, this was not an official rule, and I only know of it happening one time, to the girl who eventually became our valedictorian, but that was the reasoning she was given. It was a Catholic girls' high school, and there were a lot of other weird, strictly enforced rules, especially around the uniform, but the only God is perfect rule will always take the cake for me. That is unbelievable. In my school, they banned hats because hats can be used to What is going on here? What hats can be used to signify gang colours? Is this like a common thing across schools? I've never heard of this. The only major crime group in our area was the Hells Angels, and they certainly weren't having people wear hats for children to signify their allegiance. It was so bad, a few years after I graduated, I came back to volunteer as a chaperone for a school trip, as a favour for my favourite teacher. The principal saw me wearing a beanie from across school, and he literally sprinted half a mile to chase me down and tell me to take off the hat. When I told him I wasn't a student and didn't have to follow the dress code, he said either take off the hat, leave, or he'd call the cops. It wasn't the actual day of the trip. I just had to show up to get the itinerary and stuff. So I just said, F you, I'm out, idiots. Seriously, if this has ever happened in your school, where colours represent gang signs, please comment down below, enlighten me, because I've never heard of this, and it sounds absolutely ludicrous, but pretty funny to be fair. Suspension as a punishment for skipping school. Don't want to come to school? Well, now you can't, until next week. Actually, to be fair, I think we had that in my school. Thinking about it, actually that makes no sense at all. We weren't allowed to have cough drops in our elementary because the school considered them drugs. Okay, I mean, seriously, what is going on with gang culture, drugs? I'm lost for words. My high school banned t-shirts that had the cover of Rush's album Signals, an album popular at the time, which features an image of a dog sniffing a fire hydrant. They considered it scatological because the dog was about to pee on it. This struck the entire student body as extremely stupid, and roughly half of the student body picked a day to wear the t-shirt. We won. That would have been an amazing day. Just a look on the teachers' faces as half the students come into school wearing the same shirt they were told not to wear. Incredible scenes. No fist bumps. Their reason for this is that kids might accidentally punch the other person in the face. What sort of stupid school did you go to where that was a rule? I mean, seriously, if you're missing someone's fist by that much and going through and following through onto their face, you've got to be an idiot in the first hand. So what is going on with these teachers, man, honestly? My high school mascot was Daniel Boone holding a musket. A kid wore a Guns N' Roses shirt to school and was told he had to change shirts because of the pistols on the shirt. He pointed out the hypocrisy of the school mascot and they changed everything. The mascot was switched to holding a flagpole instead. Every instance of the mascot was changed, from the multiple signs outside and around the school to the giant picture in the middle of our basketball stadium. Holden, you're a freaking legend for this. Took all the doors off the men's room's bathroom stalls because of vandalism for 2 months. Wow, how are you meant to poop in private? That seems a little excessive. We had to wear belts. Someone snitched that people weren't wearing belts under their sweaters, and they actually checked, and a bunch of people got detentions. Stupid. Yeah, stupid and also kind of noncy. Why would you have to wear a belt? I don't get that one at all. We were all given these ugly planners at the beginning of the school year, with a few pages at the back filled with hall passes. If you didn't have your planner, or if all your boxes were filled, you weren't allowed to go to the bathroom. And no, you couldn't buy a new planner, or borrow one from your friend. The only excuse you had was if you had a doctor's note. But no doctor is going to give a note for an upset stomach caused by the school lunch, are they? I attended an all-girls high school. You had to bring a male date to dances or not attend at all. No going solo or with your girlfriends. So backwards. I mean, I really hope that is not the case nowadays. That does sound like something that would have happened a number of years ago. I just pray that's not going on now because yes, that is very backwards. All the kids, 6th or 7th grade, started putting pink laces in their shoes. I don't know why. But the school officials banned coloured laces, saying pink is a gang colour. What is going on? What is this gang banter? Please, inform me. All schools had to administer English/spelling tests. In high school, I poop you not. So we'd be out in the yard for PE and have to take a written spelling test on the frickin' pavement. It was a dang nightmare. School administration would poke around to enforce it too. Oh, I see, as in every single class you were in had to have a spelling or English test at some point? Wow. It was all a part of an effort to get our standardized testing scores up. It backfired miserably, but they kept trying. The teachers absolutely hated it, unsurprisingly. Our administration was so effed. I mean, seriously, if you're trying to teach English or spelling in every single class, yeah, I don't really see how that's going to work. My freshman dorm at a religious college had a list of rules that filled a legal-sized sheet of paper. It included being in your room for forced study time every night, keeping your towels straight on the towel rack, and making your bed by 9 AM every day, including weekends. So, if you wanted to sleep in on Saturday morning, you were supposed to get up, make your bed, and then go back to sleep on top of the bed. College. I thought that was meant to be, the place where you go to get a little bit of freedom. Wow, apparently not. Our school banned water bottles. For some reason, an extreme health/water drinking fad started among our girls, and they began bringing larger and larger water bottles to school. Eventually, the girls were all walking around with giant 5-litre jugs of water all over the school. It did kind of look ridiculous, and my school was posh and image conscious with very elegant uniforms. So then one day, the principal banned all water bottles and said that the girls must drink water from the taps in the bathrooms and the other faucets all over the school grounds. Our city does have very clean tap water, so that is safe. I mean, I kind of get that because having a 5-litre jug of water is obviously ridiculous, but then why not just limit the size of water bottles to a litre or something, reasonable, rather than just taking them away altogether? That seems like a little bit too far to me. And then finally, a girl and a boy couldn't sit together. The school employed disciplinarians to roam around the school and monitor this activity. If found, you will get a reprimand. If found repeating the offence, you get sent to the principal office. And if continuing, then eventually escalated to the parents, etc. Sorry, isn't that the point of mixed schools? That girls and boys learn together? Unbelievable. I mean, I went to an all-boys school for my secondary school, so I wouldn't know about this, to be honest. But I've never heard of this ever happening ever before in any school. So, the Morrigan 86, unlucky. Your school sounds terrible, I'm sorry to say. And there we go. That is going to do it for this one. Guys, now it's over to you. Please can you give your answers to the question, what was the dumbest rule your school enforced, in the comments down below? Because those were the top answers that I found on Reddit, but I want to hear what my audience think, what you lot think, because that's way more important to me. Come on. So yeah, comment down below, what was the craziest, most interesting, idiotic, ridiculous rule that your school had down below. I mean, for me, you know what? I'm going to try and think of one. 1 second. Oh yeah, so I remember in my primary school, we weren't allowed to play with leather footballs for a while because apparently they were too hard. So we had to play with just like plastic ones. And I remember getting told off quite a lot for still playing with leather balls. But I mean, leather balls are what people use, to play football. Nobody uses a little plastic ball that blows around in the wind. So I remember that annoying me greatly as a football fan myself. So that was probably the weirdest one, although I kind of do understand it. But yeah, comment down below, what was your weirdest rule that you had in your school? I bet a lot of you have some crazy answers. And also, tell me about this gang stuff. Has this ever happened to you? Because it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but maybe it goes on and I just don't know about it. Let me know down below, guys. Anyway, that is going to do it for this one. Hope you have enjoyed it. A strange selection of answers there, that's for sure. But yeah, hope it was enjoyable nonetheless. If you want more Ask Reddit from me, I've now created an entire playlist of all my Ask Reddit videos. So go and watch all of them. They're great. Trust me. And if you are new around here, please consider hitting this button and subscribing to my channel. I post it daily, so you want to get subscribed so you never miss a daily video. See you all tomorrow with a brand new one.